My 2013 Volkswagen Passat needed both new brakes and new ball joints on the front end. You don't have to change the brakes to get the ball joints, but it does make things a bit more visible. First step is to remove those two bolts that are holding the caliper to the steering knuckle. Next, get the caliper off. As they say, don't force it, get a big hammer. Just tap it off gently. Then the rotor comes off with just a single Torx type bit. Just need to unscrew. It's easy. You don't have to remove the CV axle to get the ball joint if you use an open-ended wrench. Again, you don't have to take off the splash shields, but they do make access a little easier. There's 3 bolts there. I'm securing the caliper to the knuckle with now hammering a pickle fork into the side of the ball joint. That'll get it out of the steering knuckle. There's 3 bolts on the underside of the ball joint holding it to the control arm. You'll want to replace these Nylock nuts with fresh ones when you put in the new ball joint. Here you see where the pickle fork goes into the ball joint to separate it. Then you can pull the whole thing out and just slip the brand new ball joint in. I'm using genuine Volkswagen ones, as there's a lot of ones that don't hold up. And just bolt them back down. I'm using a torque wrench here. I'll have the torque specs in the comments. I know putting a crowfoot on a torque wrench isn't ideal, but it's really the only way to get a torque wrench on this thing for the upper nut without pulling out the CV axle. Bring the splash shield back on, 3 Torx bolts there. Fresh new rotors. Kit from Ray Bestos, who, as it turns out, had made the pads that were already on there. Just using a pry bar to get the old pads out of there. These calipers are a bit rusty. This was a New York car. Compressing the piston back in with a C-clamp. Just get the C-clamp on that piston and on a flat spot on the other side, twist it down. This is edited for time so you don't see the whole thing. And slide the new pads in. Get the caliper on there. And again, it may take a little bit of prying to get the pads to go over the rotor. There we are. Tightening up the back bolts. Don't try putting on that spring clip until you've got everything on there. If you try before it's on, it'll fall off.